I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Glad to see everybody here this morning. Everybody looks a little droopy, but they're here, so maybe some late nights. I'd like to thank the staffs for the election work that they did. And oh, John? No, John's John. All right. Mr. Clerk, would you call the roll?
Bruner.
Here.
Farnham. Helsley.
Here.
Lorenzen.
Here.
Patrick.
Here.
Zuber.
Here.
Voigt.
Here. We do have a quorum, thank goodness. We have the minutes for the October 12th regular meeting. You've had those in your packet for a few days. Is there a motion to approve those minutes as presented, please?
So moved.
And a second by Helsley. That would be a motion by Derek, seconded by Mike Helsley. Assume you're ready to vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. They are approved. Next is claims against the county. You've also had those in your packet. We had a chance to discuss items on Monday. Are there any questions or discussion of the claims as presented? Hearing none, I'd entertain a motion to approve them.
So moved. Second.
Derek again, and then Dan Bruner. Assuming you're ready to vote, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. They are approved. Next item is the county board member claims. You've had those in your packet. Are there any questions? If not, I'd entertain a motion to approve.
Move.
Mr. Zuber
Second.
and Andy seconds. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. They are approved. Next, we come to the part of the agenda where we ask the citizens for public comment. So you do have 5 minutes, and there you go.
Good morning. One thing I noticed was on your agenda, it's turning out to be an annual statement of mine. Item number 16 and 17, I believe the laws controlling funds and those funds tell you when you can transfer them out.
We'll try to get in the sync, John, but we also realize
I don't believe November is the month that you can do that.
it's in the spring, but we got out of sync a long time ago, so.
I know, I said that in 3 or 4 years, and maybe we just need to go to the state legislature and ask them to change that law so you can transfer it anytime you want.
Can you put that on your list? Thanks, John, I appreciate it.
The other thing is, please provide an update on the status of the draft ordinance for zoning. A month or so ago, there was a hearing, and that was announced today. Thanks.
Thanks, John. Anybody else, please?
Morning. It's a great election. Everybody voted, I trust. My name is Robert Bogue. I'm a citizen of the United States of America, a veteran of the United States Army, and I'm a resident of Edgar County. This morning I wanted to talk just briefly about the airport. In just a few days, we'll have a 4-year anniversary of an airport advisory board meeting, an airport committee meeting that I attended, November 13, 2012. It was in that meeting it was decided that my daughter-in-law and my granddaughter were to be banned from the Edgar County Airport by your appointed and approved airport manager, Jimmy Wells. This action was approved and endorsed by Chris Patrick, the Airport Advisory Board Chairman. Chris Patrick later became a county board chairperson for about 6 months and then he resigned. Since then, at your airport, there's been an $880,000 fraudulent grant prepared by Jimmy Wells and Chris Patrick that has been halted by the FAA and the Illinois Division of Aeronautics. a second wasteful and unnecessary grant for $1.28 million was also halted because of the long-running violation of Illinois law regarding airport development. This has been verified. It has been verified the land taking from a local resident for the airport expansion under the direction of Chris Patrick was misguided and is in fact a violation of Illinois law. There has been and there is an investigation into 2 aircraft that have been firebombed at your airport at a time in which Jimmy Wells was employed by the Edgar County as airport manager and managing the airport. This firebombing occurred just months after Mr. Patrick was forced to resign from the county board as chairperson for his many conflicts of interest. Regarding this investigation, there were 4 suspects for various reasons. I was one of them. I volunteered for a polygraph test and passed. Jimmy Wells and Chris Patrick, whom have repeatedly stated they had nothing to hide, steadfastly refused to take their polygraph. It's a pretty easy test. It's only 4 questions. Did you do it? Did you plan it? Did you set devices on fire? Stuff like that. Just 4 questions. Friends of Jimmy and Chris might suggest they go ahead and take their polygraphs so this criminal investigation can go on forward and the true villain or villains are held accountable. Regarding the airport zoning issue, I ask that you do not complete this process at this time. Doing so enables a totally unnecessary $1.28 million expansion project to move forward and commits Edgar County taxpayers to spending about $3 million at this airport over the next 20 years. The $3 million is the annual budget to the airport plus income generated at the airport. Zoning and project approval further causes Illinois to borrow more funds to match this misguided and unwarranted project, money it truly does not have, and the federal government to carry the ball by adding to our growing national debt, now surpassing $20 trillion, and all for something that is unnecessary and unneeded. There are better uses in Edgar County, there are better uses for our local tax dollars than spending it on the 6 or so aircraft owners that fly occasionally at our airport. There is little in fuel sales or activity relative to the benefit this county will now receive. For less than 1/3 of this county's part in the latest project, the 24/7 fueling access problem can be solved at our airport, and for perhaps as little as $2,000. So you have an opportunity to save $58,000 by not allowing this $1.28 million project to move forward. Thank you. Thank you, I appreciate that. So the long and the short of it is, as an Edgar County taxpayer, I'd like you folks to be very careful about spending our tax money. The benefit received from this airport, having an airport has been established. The benefit for $1.28 million of a project is practically nil for this county. And you can solve the 24/7 fueling access problem by spending as little as $2,000. Thank you.
Thank you.
Chairman,
2,000.
item 13, we're going to appoint 3 members to the ETSB, terms expiring clear into 2019. I gave you folks a list of all the things that 2 of those 3 people were a party to. And we talk about some of the corruption in the past around this county. Those 2 are right in the middle of it and have been for a long time. That's Cindy Belt and Merle Clark. I would encourage that you do not reappoint those people. With all due respect, pull your head out. I can't believe their name is on there again. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments, please? Hearing none, we'll move on to the next item on the agenda. We're under Highway. We have a resolution authorizing responsible agencies to post roads to 10 tons effective January 5th, 2017 through April 5th, 2017. Do you have any comments about this? This is something we do annually. So, gentlemen, what's your pleasure?
Is this all, are these all the roads in the county? They can be. In your packets, what the county highway will post, but it gives the township and the locals authority to post. The county board has to do that by statute.
Okay, a citizen asked me that question yesterday, so thought I'd bring it up today.
And what's the reason you can't just make that automatic, because you have to do it every year?
The statute says the county board has to pass a resolution annually. And for 90 days, we can only post for 90 days.
So you can't put a sign up that says from such and such a day to such and such a day, these roads are posted, and leave it there permanent?
You can, we talked about that Monday, and we hope to do that someday, but the county board, you're also giving townships and localities the authority to post. By this vote, you give the townships the authority to post.
Do you have your questions answered? Is there a motion to approve?
Make a motion.
Dan Bruner moves.
Second.
Derek Lorenzen seconds. Assuming you're ready to vote, will the clerk call the roll?
Bruner,
Yes.
Helsley,
Yes.
Lorenzen,
Yes.
Patrick,
Yes.
Zuber.
Yes.
Next, thank you, it does pass, the resolution. Resolution to appropriate aid from the County Bridge Fund to substantially assist in the expense in initial preliminary engineering of Staley Road Bridge project in Elbridge Township. Discussed that on Monday morning. Are there any further questions on that particular resolution? If not, I'd entertain a motion to approve this resolution.
So moved.
Derek moves, Andy seconds. Mr. Clerk, would you call the roll?
Bruner,
Yes.
Helsley,
Yes.
Lorenzen,
Yes.
Patrick,
Yes.
Zuber.
Yes.
Thank you, it does carry. Resolution authorizing county clerk to sign and transmit 2 certified copies of BLR 09215, anticipation of township bridge funds for Elbridge Township, section 12-04126-00-BR. Again, we discussed that on Monday morning at the study session. Do you gentlemen have any questions or clarifications that you need before we vote on this resolution?
What does that do, just so everybody else here knows?
The 2, 3, and 4 are together. Number 3 is a anticipation township bridge funds. What that means is we will expend our money up front, the $15,000 that we're going to spend on preliminary engineering, and you're saying that the board's aware that the county will use its own funds initially, and that we will seek reimbursement when TVP becomes available next fall. So you're resolving to the Department of Transportation that you understand that you're paying it up front and that you will be seeking reimbursement.
Thank you. Assuming you're ready to vote? Oh, we need a motion and a second, please.
I'd make that motion.
Mr. Zuber, Mr. Bruner. Now, assuming you're ready to vote. Mr. Clerk, will you call the roll?
Bruner,
Yes.
Helsley,
Yes.
Lorenzen,
Yes.
Patrick,
Yes.
Zuber.
Yes.
It does carry. Thank you, gentlemen. Next item is resolution authorizing county board chairman to sign preliminary engineering services agreement with Knight Associates Surveying LLC on TR-345 Staley Road, section 12-04126-00BR. Again, that's related to number 3. So, again, clarifications or questions?
What was the cost of that?
I believe it's 15,000, 80% TVP, so it'll be 1,500 township, 1,500 county.
Okay.
And I want to reiterate so that there's no misunderstanding here. This is preliminary design, very preliminary. So we'll set type, size, and location of structure. We'll set some horizontal and vertical alignment, and we'll touch base with property owners to see if this is something that the county board wants to move forward with upon completion.
Okay.
Any further? Do I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Mr. Bruner, and a second? Andy seconds. Assuming you're ready to vote, Mr. Clerk, would you call the roll?
Bruner,
Yes.
Helsley,
Yes.
Lorenzen,
Yes.
Patrick,
Yes.
Zuber.
Yes.
It does carry. Now we come to the resolution on the box culvert, authorizing the county board chairman to sign BLR 05310 LA Fed Participation Agreement, FAS 679, and then all the other numbers and so forth. So we discussed that pretty much at length on Monday morning. We had the acting engineer from IDOT, and I think everybody asked a lot of good questions, and I think we all felt like we needed to proceed with this, but further discussion.
Karen, could you again, I think this is a major thing, and could you again talk a little bit about this? Or Jeff, either one, whoever feels comfortable.
Okay, the box culvert, we had several options to look at. Once was a temporary fix for 5 to 10 years, and that would cost roughly $100,000, give or take, between materials and our staff doing the project and engineering, etc. The Department of Transportation is making funds available for a permanent fix of a box culvert with a life expectancy from 50 to 70 years. The cost of that is about $630,000. That would be accomplished roughly the same time as the temporary fix. In other words, we'd be looking between planting and harvest next year. That's the intended time to do the project, so that fall harvest would benefit from the reconstruction or the construction of that box culvert. Our share of the cost, although we've already put about $40,000 worth of engineering in there, our cost, the way the state has it designed with the federal project and our share of what they provide, would be minimal. I don't know whether we could say $1,500, $2,000, but very, very minimal. And we would have a permanent fix that we wouldn't have to deal with for many years. Have I summed that up all right?
Yes.
Is everyone familiar with what we're talking about?
That's on the Horace Brockton Road. That's a box culvert that we've had to post because the current box culvert that was put in, what, 1923?
It's quite that long ago, but yeah.
It's been a long time. At any rate, it has some structural issues that make it unsafe to handle semi-loads or other large loads that go over it. So the state has identified that that is an issue and needs to have attention, otherwise it's going to have to stay posted. What is it posted now?
Is it posted at 12?
Something like that. So, and obviously that's not enough to
Much
get
less than legal.
a semi and bring, that's barely what the semi weighs. So, anyway, that's what we're looking at, gentlemen. We had a lengthy discussion about it. I think everybody asked good questions, and now we need to make up our mind. So, I'll entertain a motion to approve the resolution, or whatever, it's the board's pleasure.
So moved.
It's been moved by Derek, seconded by Andy, to approve the resolution. Further discussion? Hearing none, would the clerk call the roll?
Brunner,
Yes.
Heltzler,
Yes.
Lorenzen,
Yes.
Patrick,
Yes.
Zuber.
Present.
If you have a majority. It does carry, majority carries. Okay? Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you, County Engineer. Number 9, resolution appointing David A. Smith, Commissioner for Drainage District Number 2 of the Town of Shiloh, County of Edgar, State of Illinois, and approving oath and bond of David A. Smith. Do I have a motion for that resolution, please?
So moved.
Mr. Zuber, and a second, please?
Second.
Mr. Brunner seconds. Assuming you're ready to vote, will you call the roll, Mr. Clerk?
Brunner,
Yes.
Heltzler,
Yes.
Lorenzen,
Yes.
Patrick,
Yes.
Zuber.
Yes.
It does carry, thank you. Number 10, resolution appointing Neil J. Wood, Commissioner of Drainage District Number 2 of the Town of Shiloh, County of Edgar, State of Illinois, approving oath and bond of Neil J. Wood. Do I have a motion on that? Andy moves. Derek seconds.
Yes.
I thought I heard your voice, Derek. Somebody else?
You just hear my voice in your head.
Not really. I think we're ready for the roll, please.
Brunner,
Yes.
Helpsley,
Yes.
Lorenzen,
Yes.
Patrick,
Yes.
and Zuber.
Yes.
Okay, resolution from Joseph E. Meyer, County Tax Agent, authorizing chairman to execute a deed of conveyance for parcel number 15-02-34-284-003 to Charles A. Manis. Again, that's a transfer, that's a good thing. Somebody is taking deed for a property that has taxes due, so onward and upward. Do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Derek, do we have a second? And Mike Helsley seconds. Any further question? Will you call the roll, Mr. Clerk?
Brunner,
Yes.
Helpsley,
Yes.
Lorenzen,
Yes.
Patrick,
Yes.
and Zuber.
Yes.
Thank you. Next, we have an authorization for the chairman to sign equipment lease with the Chrisman Farm Center for Edgar County Airport tractor lease. This tractor is a 4610 tractor for mowing, pulling around the bat wing, etc. And so we've come up with it's a five-year lease, and we'd like to seek approval from you gentlemen so I can execute the lease. And that's with the trade-in of the current vehicle. A motion to approve, please?
That's a good point.
Yeah. Good. Where's it a little bit about what?
Yeah, so,
Can you talk a little bit?
yeah, I've got the lease agreement in front of me here. So, list price on that tractor that Jeff just described is $70,922. Basically, with the trade-in, our total amount due on the lease, if we decide to go with the purchase option, will be $31,398. So, we thought that was a very fair deal from Chrisman Farm Center, and a 30-year-old tractor, we decided that was I think it's a good way to go.
Lease.
Lease, no,
Didn't
it's an
have to
option
be
to
bid
buy.
out, an option to buy. Didn't have to be bid out or nothing? Just asking them. I don't know if it is.
Motion to approve?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Okay. Roll call, please.
Brunner,
Yes.
Helpsley,
Yes.
Lorenzen,
Yes.
Patrick,
Yes.
and Zuber.
Yes.
Next item, appointing the following to the Emergency Telephone System Board with terms expiring on November 30th, 2019. There would be 3 appointees: Cindy Bilt, Merle Clark, and Carl E. Farnham, Jr. What's your pleasure, gentlemen?
So move.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second?
Mike Helsley seconds. Assuming you're ready.
Do we have this in order now? A little discussion. We have this in order now where everybody
We do
has
now.
expiring terms.
Yes, we do now, yes. We started that last year, so they're staggered terms. Those 3 got a 1-year term a year ago, and then we appointed some to 2 and some to 3. Okay? Assuming you're ready to vote, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. It carries. Okay, authorize chairman to issue a letter of support to Coles County Regional Planning housing in Kansas, Illinois. We had a request and we felt it'd be stronger. We could have gone ahead and signed the letter, but if the board takes action, that way we can say that the board is supporting their efforts in seeking grants for the disposition of problem housing in Kansas, Illinois. What's your pleasure, gentlemen?
Just the letter that you, in our packet.
So, just help me out here. What exactly is this? Just give me the executive summary.
Illinois Housing Development Authority wants to put some money into Kansas to refurbish, get rid of, improve some housing in
Sure.
Kansas. And they're just asking us, as part of that big regional group, for a letter of support to confirm to IDA that that's a good thing.
Got it. Sounds good to me.
I have a motion, please.
I have to make that motion.
Mike?
Second.
Derek seconds. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. It does carry. Item 15, resolution approving annual budget and appropriations and tax levies for fiscal year period beginning December 1st, 2016 and ending November 30th, 2017.
Mr. Chairman, I appreciate all the time and effort that you especially have put in on this, and all the county heads and everybody else, the monumental task. And I just want to say I appreciate that amount of time.
It is a group effort.
You may want to just very briefly, and I think you've done the master work on all this stuff, but basically we're trying to hold the line and hopefully coming out with a positive fund balance at the end on top of this. I looked at this correctly, which I must never did, but, and also still staying underneath the 5%
Correct.
increase.
Yes. The budget for the coming year, if I can get there, excuse me, right on top of things there, is total revenues would be $4,334,500, and the expenses would be $4,330,540, leaving us with a fund balance of roughly $3,960. But I'd like to point out that under the, I think, page 3 or 4, we are allotting pay down of debt in the amount of 110.
I think so.
$110,000 in debt reduction. So that's where we're at on that. So
And included in that, as we've talked in other meetings, is the idea of paying down our retirement debt, and we've been able to do a little bit of that with lump sum, and of course the monthly amount that we are still paying, and that's all included in this, so.
right, in the total package, yes. I was giving you Fund $100 right there. Okay.
Question about that, Alan. When did that start? When did we start paying the regular monthly? Was that this past year? Or was
Oh,
it
no.
3 years ago?
3 or 4 years ago. It started off that we were paying roughly, I think, $9,200. Then it went to 80-some hundred. Then, well, anyway,
Long
this
before
coming.
my time.
Yes.
Yes.
Well,
It's,
you were born, but not by long.
oh, that's not funny.
Great school process.
Anyway, this coming year, starting January 1st, the monthly payment is down to $4,035. But we'll be acting on the 30th of this month on a lump sum payment that the treasurer is gonna provide for us. And we've been doing that on an annual basis. You might look up, but I think we paid in, what, 6, 7, 800,000?
We've made a heck of a dent, and I got the impression from an email the other day from a fellow treasurer that not all counties have taken this initiative. I think some of them are facing this problem, and I don't know that they've taken any action on it. I think we've really put a big dent in it.
I know from my standpoint, just listening even 3 or 4 years ago, when we found out it was gonna be 7% interest
Yes.
charge.
Right.
I didn't think we were ever gonna gain that much interest on any of that money.
Well,
So
I know the first
think
one we
I
paid
applaud-
was like 450,
Yes.
and you start multiplying that times 7%
That
interest,
saved
that's
us
quite
over
a bit
20
of
grand
change.
right there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right there.
So,
And we may have covered that, but they're prorating our required monthly allotment year to year as we put those lump sums in.
right.
What's roughly left?
I don't know,
I think it's in our annual audit. I think there's some kind of,
I'm sorry, I'll get that for you. I don't know what it is, but, I mean, it's,
Considerable because it,
yeah, and we keep building. I mean, it's kind of like a long tunnel, you know. It continues. But we have a responsibility, I think, to our folks that work here at the county to make sure that we maintain the retirement fund in a responsible and effective way out of respect for the folks that work here at the county. Okay, so,
I think this all started out in 7 digits, wasn't it, around a million? It was,
Yeah.
absolutely,
it was
yes.
something crazy.
but we'll look that up and get you
Does
that.
this come out of the debt reduction side of the thing, or this
No.
is in?
This is totally a levied fund. This comes out of IMRF fund. Okay, that's totally different than the debt reduction. Yes.
And we actually cleared the regular IMRF debt, and now we're focusing on the SLEP and ECHO debt, if that makes sense. Because there's 3 different plans in there depending upon where you work.
Yep.
Roughly.
But we'll get that information and have it available, hopefully at the next study session. We'll do our homework a little better. Sorry about that.
Are you looking for a motion to approve, Mr. Chairman?
Yes, both the levy and the appropriation ordinance. And I want to make sure that you know that it'll be on display in the county clerk's office between now and the 30th. So we'll have plenty of time to take care of that requirement. Mr. Zuber moves,
Second.
Mr. Lorenzen seconds. It is, I'd like a roll call vote on this, please.
Bruner,
Yes.
Heltzley,
Yes.
Lorenzen,
Yes.
Patrick,
Yes.
and Zuber.
Yes.
Next item, as John has pointed out, I think it's in the spring, but Department of Agriculture hasn't been real stickly about when we do this, but we probably should get this in order. But at any rate, we're authorizing the transfer of $6,000 to the general fund for the dog fund for expenses that we incur throughout the year for those issues and those items that we're expending. So I'd entertain a motion for the resolution.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Second. And that was Derek. Assuming you're ready to vote, all those, or I'm sorry, a roll call.
Bruner,
Yes.
Heltzley,
Yes.
Lorenzen,
Yes.
Patrick,
Yes.
and Zuber.
Yes.
Next, resolution authorizing treasurer to transfer $13,000 from the rabies fund for county tax to the county general fund. And again, we're expending money out of the budget for the animal shelter, and this reimburses the expenses the county's incurred over the year. Do I hear a motion for resolution?
So moved.
Mr. Bruner, second. Mike, seconds. Would you call the roll?
Bruner,
Yes.
Heltzley,
Yes.
Lorenzen,
Yes.
Patrick,
Yes.
Zuber.
Yes.
Next, a resolution authorizing treasurer to transfer $40,000 from the county farm fund to the county general fund. The county will expend somewhere around $80,000 this year out of the general fund. This will reimburse us for some of those expenses. Do I hear a motion to approve this resolution?
So moved.
Do I hear a second? Mr. Patrick? Roll call?
Bruner,
Yes.
Heltzley,
Yes.
Lorenzen,
Yes.
Patrick,
Yes.
Zuber.
Yes.
It is approved. Resolution authorizing treasurer to transfer $15,000 from circuit clerk document storage fee fund to the general fund. And again, this is expenses that we incur in the general fund for those items covered under the document storage fee, and on an annual basis, they reimburse the general fund. Do I hear a motion to approve the resolution?
So moved.
Mr. Zuber moves. Mike Helsley seconds. Can you call the roll?
Bruner,
Yes.
Heltzley,
Yes.
Lorenzen,
Yes.
Patrick,
Yes.
Zuber.
Yes.
Okay, that does carry. Next, we want to authorize Verlin Funkhauser to pursue grant opportunities on behalf of the Edgar County, for Edgar County War Memorial. Again, it's a kind of a helping hand to Verlin to encourage and make sure he has the support of the county board and some of the good work he's done for the War Memorial. And so, Mr. Zuber moves.
Second.
Mr. Derek Lorenzen seconds. Any further discussion on that? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. It does carry. Next, we go to elected official department heads. Donald.
Straightforward report. Typical this time of year, we're seeing similar cash flows as previous years, give or take. We have not received all the state revenue yet this month. I'm hoping to see some local use and some reimbursement for state's attorney, public defender, and supervisor assessments, possibly some probation. We received an income tax payment, but it was like November 1st, which is kind of an unusual timing of that to arrive. I'm going to keep my fingers crossed, but I'm not going to hold my breath that we might get another income tax payment. But I am a pessimist. I will just say that the state's probably not going to get in a hurry about giving us that. But anyway, we can always hope. Next week, I will be focusing on doing our final distribution, where anything that's been collected recently, plus accumulated interest, housing authority, back taxes, mobile home, all that stuff gets put on the final distribution. I hope to have it hit by Thursday or Friday next week, but I'm just going to see how my week goes. Now that we have the budget on display for the next, 15 days and everything?
It'll be that at least.
Yeah, we will be crossing that bridge where we hand out salary sheets. We'll be getting those out to you for you to, for your department heads to set your or not salaries, Ed, get off that word.
Right.
Your hourly rates for your staff. Shame on me for saying salary. I will try to get the transfers done before our next board meeting. I would encourage all department heads to get all any kind of fees and revenues into us. Boy, I'd sure like to see it before Thanksgiving break.
Next week.
Yeah. That way, even though we have 3 business days after the holidays we've got enough going on that I'd sure like to have a lot of that stuff receipted. But trust me, if you get some money in the mail or whatever on the 30th of November, get it to us. Get it to us and we will scramble and get that in, because that all affects our cash flow for the end of the year. Any questions or anything I need to? Okay. Any questions from anybody? Thank you.
Yes. Aaron? Sandy?
I have nothing to report. I would like to congratulate Angie. We're very proud of her for being elected the new circuit clerk, and I would just like to thank everyone for their support while I've been in office.
Thank you, Sandy. Appreciate that.
And we feel for who you have to put up with otherwise too, Mr. Willett.
Dina?
I assume most know that reassessment notices are out. Complaints are due December 5th, and that's about 3 weeks earlier than last year, so we're continuing to improve the tax cycle. Is that it?
Thank you. Jill?
Nothing really, just finishing up state's fiscal year ended September 30th, so we're just kind of finishing up all of that paperwork we have to turn in, but not nothing new.
Tom?
Like to thank the board for the tractor. We definitely need that, and that's all I have.
Sheriff?
Just I got everything into AT&T that they requested for the tower rentals, so we're just waiting back now. I haven't got anything on my email as of this morning with final contracts.
Me neither, so,
That's about it.
okay. Augie?
Well, yesterday we had an election, and it went well. We start voting 40 days before Election Day. And our early voting represented 29% of the total votes. So then we looked at each other and said, no wonder why we're tired. I just believe that this amount of voting early obviously has never been done like what we just went through. And it's not, it's a combination of some of the people that early voted, or that normally early vote didn't, but we saw a tremendous number of new registrations. And so then I got we've compiled some interesting numbers for you. In 2008, there were 1,476 early votes. 2012, 1,659. And then this year, 2,336. So that's significant. As far as turnout, we had a 60% overall turnout as of last night, and that compares the last two presidentials. In 2008, there was a 64% turnout. 2012, 59%, and then we just had 60%. So we're right there. I was a little surprised we didn't have a higher turnout, but it seems to fall right in the ballpark. We still have, we have a small number of vote by mail, absentee ballots still out. We have a couple weeks yet for that, for those to come in before we can count those. And in a big ballpark guess, there may be 30, 40 votes still out. So we'll wait on those, and we'll make sure that every vote gets counted. As of last night, we're confident that that has occurred. So obviously at this point, I need to thank my entire staff for all the work that they do. You would be surprised the amount of work that goes on behind the scenes in trying to put together an election. And they do a wonderful job. I can't say enough about them. Not only the staff, but all those who help volunteer, set up, tear down, in the basement, on election night. You can't do it without a team effort. And of course, I want to thank all the election judges. It is a very long day. It's a very long day, and they do a very good job. And so we appreciate all the work that they do for the county. So
It was nice to see some high school students at the precinct I voted at last night. Real nice.
we have a good relationship with the schools, and they supply us with good students. That student judge program it's just an awesome opportunity for the kids to get engaged into democracy, and we're just very thrilled and thankful to have the high school students help us out. So, that's what I have at this point. Questions for me?
Thank you, Augie.
Thank you.
I think the board would also like to tell everybody thank you for all your offices' hard work. All the offices this fall. There's a lot of Don just got through in his offices with the tax sale. Dina's described some of the stuff that she and her staff have done, which has accelerated information for the taxpayers. All in all, I think it's been a good fall, a lot of positive things. So I'd like to thank everybody.
And I would be remiss if I did not congratulate all those who won last night.
We'll move on to committee reports. Derek?
Talked to Mark Isak last night. He said he hadn't had a chance to look at the documents that Robert Howard had submitted to him about a week and a half ago. I told him the board would really like to have that for action on our board meeting on the 30th of this month. And told him we'd also really like to have it finalized and have his, seal of approval, if you will, on that at least 15 days prior. Also, weather willing, we will have new paving at the airport by the end of this month. That's it.
Mike?
Nothing at this time.
Alan?
Nope.
Andy?
Just a couple of things. I think they're finished moving the refrigeration lines out of probation, and I should get Mark Sullivan in there to finish up, put the ceiling in the next week or so. So hopefully have all that taken care of. I did get an email back from a guy at Midwest Maintenance. That was the people that did the bell tower restoration. He got back with me this morning. I forget which corner it is, has the cladding on the outside has separated. I thought it was probably epoxy together, but he said that and he actually sent me some pictures. He had a lot of information on the restoration. He sent me some pictures and said it probably was soldered at one point and that it probably needs to be soldered and repaired. And he sent me a couple places where they'd actually done some repair on some of those corners. Asked me if I'd be interested in a proposal, what it would cost to fix that. It's not an easy fix up there, and I don't think you just want anybody to do it. So I said to send me a proposal. Also, I said I'm gonna try to get up, take a few pictures of where that flashing, where the nails have worked out. It's windy up there, some of those nails, and I suggested maybe screws with the nylon washers behind them, and he thought that was a good idea. So I'm gonna wait and see what kind of money we're talking about, but it needs to be fixed for winter. So.
Got a drone camera for that, or how
I do have.
What is
actually,
that?
I got Ryan Barrett.
See you
I've
doing
got
one of these
he can
things.
sit there and we're gonna take some pictures of that.
Do a selfie while you're up there.
I don't want a selfie from up there.
You also didn't mention our new air conditioner that we've got.
Our new
That
air-
we- Well, yeah, the one we weren't using that we're now
Oh,
gonna use. which is
yeah,
a pretty good deal.
that was,
Free
and
air
I
conditioner.
asked him, I said, well, it had a thermostat, and he said, yes, it had a thermostat, but it wasn't a heat pump thermostat. And there are two air conditioning unit, or heat pumps, which air conditioning and heat in the judges' chambers, and one of them had the wrong thermostat, so it ran, but it never called for heat or cool, so it didn't do anything, but it ran.
Average temperature air. was just
And
blowing
in the
out.
wintertime, when it got cold, it did kick on the electric
Emergency heat.
emergency heat, and would heat in that manner, but the heat pump hasn't worked since they put it in. So
That's not very efficient.
I said, replace that thermostat.
Not working this one either, is it?
Well, Andy, the automatic door's working fine at the annex. Everything's working good, so.
Good.
Thank you, Andy. Mr. Bruner?
Nothing down the shelter or the health department. I did have a couple concerned citizens, and I brought this up on Monday morning about the eyesore on Eads and Wood Street. The two buildings that have trees laying on top and the RV in the yard, so I have continued to check on it. I talked to ISOP a couple of days ago. He said there may be a resolution that was passed a number of years ago about condemned property in the county. So I asked Augie about that too, and so I'll follow up on it, but I don't know. It's kind of odd because that little section is in the county, not in the city. So the people that live in that area had gone to the city, and the city said, no, we can't do nothing about it. because it is in the county, not in the city, so that's the problem we got. Nobody wants responsible for taking out the eyesores. So still working on it, so see what we can do.
Speaking now and taking responsibility for that, I think we ought to talk to Paris Township about that.
Yeah, to the township.
Where's this at?
Eads and Wood Street, Augie knows, he goes past it every morning.
Oh, yeah.
It's an eyesore, it really is.
I don't know if they.
Oh, I
have
know,
anything.
okay.
You'll look at it, go, I remember.
I had to get yeah.
The old green.
Yeah, I know where it's at.
Half in jest and half in seriousness, I don't know if they have facilities, I doubt that they have to deal as much with the Illinois County's code as what we do. But we do also have a modern elastic clause in our county. So
I'm kind of surprised he owns the property too, but I'm not gonna relay that information, you can find it out yourself. But taxes every year is only $92 on that section of land, so I don't know what we can do. My concern is if we start taking out property that people want taken out because of the eyesore, then where's it gonna stop in the county? Somebody says, well, I got a barn that needs taken down, can you do that? So if you start in one place, then it's gonna take.
Well, the other issue is we can't expend county money
Right,
on
we don't have
private
the money to
property.
do that.
We don't own it,
Right.
okay?
So it's, you know, it's kind of, it's a problem, but I'll work on it.
Thank you, Dan. Anything else? I'd just like to reiterate that to the department heads and elected officials to please, I know that it's been a busy time, there's a lot going in, but we need to get some of the fees and everything in. Jill, I had a question, not trying to put you on the spot, but are we expecting any more from the state, IEMA?
We're expecting yes.
What?
We're expecting yes.
Okay. Just wanted to check, I just happened to notice. Kibitzing.
Yeah.
All right. Well, gentlemen, I don't believe there's a need for an exec session. The state's attorney, I don't believe, is available anyway, so does anybody have a need that I'm not aware of? If not, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn. Andy moves. Do I have a second? Mike seconds. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. We are adjourned.
Carl.
Oh, yeah, she likes coffee
It always breaks my shirt.
Usually, like, those are the checks, sometimes they go to your, sometimes they come to you. And you guys always call me because it's
Where does it go into?
general fund.
Don't brush.
Reimbursement from IEMA or something? Reimbursement from IEMA or something?
No, we were supposed to get that, and then we got.
Go ahead.